if you have 10 chickens and...
So the difference is, let me explain this. When I know which is the kosher, which is the non-kosher, that's called a kvua. When I have no idea, absolutely, that's called a teruvis, that becomes bottle.
Well, you know for sure there's 9, but you don't know which one.
If I don't know which one it is, all teruvis, that's midraisa, it's not a kvua, it's only the rabbanon kvua. You're right. So if I have a piece of chicken mixed into other piece of chicken, then it's okay. Explain what I just said. There's a Gemara that talks about, let me explain this concept. The Gemara says, I have 10 butcher shops. 9 is selling kosher, 1 is not kosher. I walk into one of the butcher shops and I have no idea which one I walked into, then I cannot eat the meat. But if I find the meat on the floor and I pick it up, I can eat the meat because we have a right to say it came out from the majority. If I'm 9 kosher, 1 not kosher. So the question is, when a goy walks in, I sell Jimmy walk into the stores and buy me a piece of meat, and he buys me a piece of meat, how do you look at this? Do I look at it as I walked in, or do I look at it I found it in the floor? So and especially when I don't call him. Jimmy bought it for himself in Italy, and I call up Jimmy now, please send me a case of that here. So that's why Rabbi Belsky said it's not called a kvua, because the goy already bought it, and I'm buying from the goy. It's like you found it in the floor. That's a whole sugya which it's complicated.
The wine and the pickles, then, since there's only one factory that's not putting wine in, everyone else is.
Just out, which one? That's the first thing. No. First case was not they do put in. It's the derech. It's commonly done. There's a difference. Derech, right, that's why I said, I explained it's based on the shvua by a lady. It's not, you don't rape everyone. You know what I mean? My mother's a gesinnt stark, she survived the war. He says, we were never afraid of the Germans would touch us. They didn't want to touch us. When the Russians came to free us, we were petrified. They were machai, they were, she said. You know, I'm just saying, not everyone, you know, it's normal, it's a derech. You know, the going the derech is when they go to war, they rape. That's the derech. Even though in the media they don't paint it, but every guy who's a soldier is a rapist. Chazal says so. That's what it is. Okay. What did you say? Yeah, if he's from, then he's a Yerushalayim. Yeah, a goy is the derech. That's what the Rabban says al Torah. Kiseitz al Mechoma. So the Rabban says derech of a goy. Okay, let's just finish this Rama again. Zug the Rama. Does not mix in wine. They do mix in wine. You're not for sure. As long as it's not for sure. You understand? This is the emotion I just explained. Again, Issa the Rabbanon, if there is a case for sure that the goyim, one company did not put in, and even though the others are derech, you could have a right to assume they didn't do it. He said, yeah, that means if once I get it, someone brings it to me, a goy brings it to me. Okay. Okay, let's see if Yud Aleph. That's the Marayis. Now, Marayis, I want to address this question that what's your first name? Nia? Niev. But let me just say what he just said. This is important. Marayis, all the cases we're learning over here is the Chazal said you have to worry, maybe they put wine into it. But if you know that they don't put wine into it, it's okay. This is different than Chol of Stam. Chol of Stam, the Chazal say, I don't care what you know, what you don't know. For instance, Marayis was a fish sauce. They would put wine into it. So when a guy sells it, and if the derech is sometimes to put wine into it, or the wine is cheaper than Marayis, and the guy would falsify, you have to worry about it. But let's say wine was much more expensive, then the guy wouldn't do it. It would be silly for him to do it. So again, it's these things, the Chazal, even though they said it's usher, but they relied on us to judge the situation. You understand? All these things, the Chazal say, we're going to trust you, judge it. Look at the situation. Do you think they put in wine? You don't think they put in wine? Rice was very common. They would sometimes put wine into it. So check it out. If, let's say, but if the wine is too expensive, we don't have to worry. Chol of Stam, the Chazal said, it's asa no matter what. We'll later learn why. It was a special gzeira, which the Chazal said there's nothing depending that, you should check it out, if it's worth it, not worth it, and it's that's a whole different story, okay? Hamarayis, mukim shadar gusa durch yain user. When yain yoike hamarayis, it's more expensive. Meter, it's okay. When mukim shen darke lusa durch yain, the place where they don't put in wine into it, meter lekloise mehem, you do a lot of buy it. V'chein lefkida etzlan, the shalchan yudav. If they don't put in wine into it, then it's no problem. The guy will not put wine into it. It's too, because it's too expensive or ruins it. It's the way, whatever it's done. So this is depending how the reality of it issue is. So it says clearly that you're allowed to buy it. If we checked it out once, it's okay, unless we find out differently. It doesn't say we need a mashgiach to check it out all the time. It is very nice that we do it today, but doesn't you see in the Shulchan Aruch, the first time I was young, I learned the Shulchan Aruch, I was so shocked. What do you mean? I'm allowed to go buy non-kosher pickles, and once someone checked it out, then we don't put wine into it. That's it. We were raised that you don't dare put something into your mouth without hashgacha. Really, it says over here, once we know that this is an item that they don't mix and non-kosher, you're allowed to buy it. That's what it says over here, clearly. I never eat anything without hashgacha, but I'm just saying the halacha is, all these things, that's all you need to do is check it out once. Now, let me learn this, the seafood base. I would love to learn the long shach, but I'll try to learn them because you're going to fall off your chair when you learn this shach. Let me just say, Rashba, hoinize me karkum. Karkum is what we call negelach. I say cloves. Cloves, mipne shebechol eretz ahi. In that way, the Rashba living mizalful of yain harba, the gan, ma'arvim boy, chita, basar, yovish. They used to cheat and put dried pieces of meat into the spices. And Mamele the Rashba didn't buy it. But karkum is a type of a spice. So the two reasons the Rashba was makbid. One, they put in wine, and also they used to put dried pieces of meat, they used to cheat. So there's a long shach over here, and the shach goes through a long reason why in his times everyone eats it. Why aren't they worried about it? And he says incredible things that he says. First the shach says that the whole idea of the Rashba was because he knew that the derech was to put in wine. If you're worried about maybe they put wine into it, then you could assume there's one person for sure doesn't put in wine. He makes a nun afkemina. It's the derech or there's a chashash. Till now we learned it was the derech. He says karkin was a chashash. Less. Maybe they put in wine. You see, we are so incredibly lucky. We live in a society. We could check the item what is sold, and the company could be sued if they misinform us. And they could, very often, people tell me it could be sued, but I'm wondering because in advertisements they sell you the Brooklyn Bridge in advertisements. Eat this and you live another 100 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Those companies get sued and they get put out of business all the time.
Yeah, you serious?
All the time.
They also put at the bottom, there's no guarantee. If anything that's not FDA approved, even herbs, at the bottom you'll see it's not FDA approved or not any
Nothing we wrote about is
it's
Islamic
fix
right?
you.
Yeah, but I heard that.
Purposes
There are
only.
people that live on the other side of town who are in the community there, who if you Google their name, you'll see lawsuits and a lot of like big fines, multi-million-dollar fines against people that had like supplement companies that claim that they do all sorts of wonders that they don't do, and they get shut down and people go to jail.
Shit,
It happens.
oh, okay. So if that's the case, I'm saying that's the case. Then and saying if we have see that's what I'm saying. We are very lucky. Those days you couldn't check these things out. So we relied, who knows what's selling. So there was a chashash, that's the Shach says, then it's okay. Then the Shach says another reason. There's surely 60 times the amount of the spices than the meat. But we looked at our spices, we never see it's 2% of it is meat. It's, if there is, it's less than shishim.
Shishim is for tam, not for the ikri.
Just listen, it's the tam. So I buy these spices and I put them into my cholent, and maybe it's meat. So the Shach says like this, when I buy this karkum, for sure it's not 2% is meat. They do maybe cheat and they put less. But I'm allowed to put into my cholent because it's surely going to be bottled already. Like a tchila. He says, allowed to buy like a tchila because this is how the item is made. Since it's made, I'm allowed to buy like a tchila. Just like I said last week, once a goy makes an item that's no islam of gam, you're allowed to buy like a tchila. You're not allowed to even be machmer not to buy it. Here too, since the chash is that maybe this car, but even it is, they have dried meat, it's surely less than 60. You're allowed to buy it and put it into your cholent. I'm not allowed to tell a goy, I'm not allowed to tell the goy, put in meat and cheat me.
You can't say that I'm going to be firmer than
You're not allowed to say that.
How could people buy Yashan? Because the whole point is you shouldn't be allowed to buy it.
What do you mean? It's a machlekes Rishonim. The Alter Rebbe says you have to be makbid. Oh, no, it's not true. It's not true.
The whole flour thing is all
No. Where did you take that from?
well, that's what I read.
The Shulchan Aruch says you have to be makbid. You know that? Shulchan Aruch says you have to be makbid and the chodesh. He does say it very clearly. So does the Tzemach Tzedek. I found out finally why they're not makbid in Chabad. I don't have time. Remind me next time, I'll explain to you why. But look in the Alter Rebbe, he says clearly you have to be makbid in the Shulchan Aruch, Hilchos Pesach and Tuf Peites, and the Tzemach Tzedek and the Shiva says you have to be makbid. I'll tell you why Taka they're not makbid. It's a huge machlekes. We're learning now Daf Yom. You learned it already. It's a huge machlekes that is Rishonim if Chodesh applies in Chitzur or Sanat. Machlekes Tanua, machlekes Paskin. So the Shulchan Aruch didn't know what the heter was, and they were trying to find a Tatum. So all the Tatum that says the Shulchan Aruch says he doesn't like it. Is a machmer. You should be machmer. So does the Tzemach Tzedek say. In two fresh. In Chitzurotz, yeah. It's so that everyone is makbid. It's surely also. And two fresh, but after the Tzemach Tzedek was nifter, I think they found the Orzuri was printed. The Orzuri is a Rishon, a very early Rishon, and it was first time printed. In the Orzuru, it says very clearly the reason why the Rishonim were not makbid. And he goes through the whole sugya that it's only Chitzur, it doesn't pass like that mandumer. So they didn't have Rishonim who explained it. It was on the Chreinim. They didn't have it. It was printed after the Tzemach Tzedek. It was printed. And so that's why someone told me, asked someone who knows Halacha, why in Chabad, he says, this is why the reason I remember which Rav lived in the times of the Marshaba, it was a famous place in Chabad. And this is why they relied, because it's very different. That's why they relied. But the person is makbid, it's a machlekes Rishonim. It surely is a machlekes Rishonim. We're talking something about it. Chazal said, Nois Tam of Gam is mitter, and the guy says, I want to be machmer, Yozok Mamre. Here, but anyways, let me just finish. The Shach says another teretz. Shach says the meat, what they put into this karkum, is so dried up, it doesn't have any meat to it anymore. Remember I said, the gelatin, the capsule. They make such a tumor about this gelatin capsules. The gelatin capsules is not edible. Try to chew into it. You take out the capsule, you can't even bite onto it. It's something that becomes so dried out, it doesn't have anything, it's not gamid. So the Shach says, that's one of the answers, that it's so dry, the meat, it literally has no tam. It's totally dried up. Yeah, no, he's saying the Shach saying why the Raj was machmer and we are not machmer in his times. So this is a long Shach, has many, all these reasons that the Shach says.
Regarding knife, with the knife, with the onion or lemon, so it has now its pleasure, correct? But what is it considered as far as if you eat that onion, you have to wait 6 hours?
No, you don't have to.
What is it?
Just don't eat it together with milk. Let's see, cut the onion. As you cut the onion and you put in, you cut the onion and put it into I don't know, omelet. So if you cut it, let's say it was a milchige knife, and don't eat fleshig with it. But
How about putting that onion with fish? Cooking it?
it's okay. That's okay.
You could cook the onion in a milking pot in the oven?
No, that's not it.
Okay.
No, that's not what he asked. Let me explain what he asked. Oh, so I just want to reiterate what he asked. He cut, if you cut an onion with a knife, a fleshige knife, can I put the onions on fish? Yes, you could put the onions on fish. No, you shouldn't do that. But yeah, you put it in is a big machlekes. If you cut onions.
Only part.
What?
Only the onions.
Yeah, talking about the onions. The question is, you put the onions in a fleshige pot with the flame is a big machlekes. So it depends what you put it in. You put it into liquid. It's a huge machlekes. Some hold it so machme, some are mekel. Anyways, this is the Rashba. We finished the simon, and next simon starts with chol of stam. I know it's a hot item, and most people don't really understand the machlekes. And I could start a gduma. Next week I'm not going to be here. I have to go to officiate a wedding, but the week afterwards. But let me just say the Agduma. Agduma is that Chazal said that after the Chazal talked about all these items we learned until now, they said you cannot buy milk from a goy. And it's clear from the Gemara that has nothing to do that we assume he wouldn't put it in, that's not good enough. That means we have to worry, even though it's not worth it for him, that maybe he's going to put in cholav toma. Now, that means the goy would put into the milk. They might put in chaza milk, camel's milk, whatever they would put in. First, the Shach says a yisod. Why did the Rabban have to answer it? Why is not Menatoida also? And so the Rabban came to say it's also because they're mixing in. Why did the Rabban have to tell me? It's a derisidic thing. The goy mix it in. You have to worry about it. Shach learned that they never put in, they always put in less than shishim. The chash never was that was more than shishim. After became the chazal asadis. Or, the Shach says much stronger, that it was min b'minoi. If you remember, we spoke about min b'minoi is bottle baroiv. So even it's more than shishim. Let's say it's 10% is chaza milk. But it's called min b'minoi, menatoyri becomes bottle baroiv, and the Rabbanan came and asked it. Min b'minoi means if I mix in chaza milk into cow's milk, it's called milk with milk. Menatoyri, all I need is majority. That makes me allowed to drink it. Let's say it fell in chaza milk, fell into cow's milk. Once I have the majority of cow's milk, I'll drink it. But the Rabbanim, they demanded that this should be 60 times. That's only with the Rabbanim. So the Shach explains that the Rabbanim it's also because Menatoyre becomes bottle, and the Rabbanim acid it. But the Rabbanim acid it even if the chashash is very minute. Others learn differently than the Shach. Others learn Menatoyre don't have to worry about the goy mixer in because it's only a few people. That means if I go buy milk from a goy, I don't have to worry that he put it in because the majority of the goyim don't mix it in. That means the chashash that it gets mixed in, it's called a mi'uta. Mi'uta means a small statistical chance that it happens. So that's something that you don't have to worry about. So anyways, the Chazal asked it. Now the Chazal made another gzeda. This is a huge mistake people make. Chazal made two gzedas. One gzeda is made on milk, and some second gzeda is made on cheese. That means that milk is one isser, cheese a second. The isser of cheese was a very simple reason. They would take the rennet from the best cheese till today is made from a rennet of a cow. But they would take it from their cow, which is nevela, and they take out in those days they didn't know how to take out the rennet. They would take a strip of the stomach, hang it into a vat of milk, and turns into cheese. Today we figured out which enzymes it is. We take it out of the stomach. It's still done. Till today's day, still make good cheese are made that way. So that's called, even though it's bottled in 10,000, it's one particle to 10,000, but the Rishonim explained that's called dover hamamid. Mamid means what made the cheese into cheese, The cheese into cheese was the chemical of a stomach of an animal. So it is Tauber Amamed, that doesn't become bottle, and that's what the cheese also. Now there's a basic question, a very important question. I want you to think about this question because this is the confusing part. Once the milk is also, why did they say the cheese is also? Isn't cheese made out of milk? Why did they need a second Zeta? This is the famous question. And this question needs to be understood. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? Once we said that the milk is also, then the cheese, he made it from this milk. So really the reason is because when a guy wants to make cheese, I'm guaranteed there is no milk in it. It doesn't turn into cheese. So this guarantee here is going to be one of the how far, but it means I know for sure. Why do I know for sure? Because there's no way he'd be nuts to put in chazer milk into his vat because he wants to make cheese out of it. Why would he do that? So I'll explain at great length that this is the one of the problems. What is the offshoot of this lamashal? There's a big famous question in the Paiskim, which is very much negeya. Baruch Hashem, today they make kosher. They make, I was told, powder milk. See, powder milk, what the goy make, so is powder milk like cheese. The goy has milk, he makes it into powder. Just like we need a special zeta on the cheese, we need a special zeta on the powder. It's true it was milk, but when the goy makes the milk into powder, he changed it, so I'm allowed to buy the powder milk. It's not the original. It's not the original thing. You know, it's a long. We'll talk about it. It's a long arichas. This is the thing. Yes.
You asked me for sources. They're online. He says the sex saver because you could about the.
Yeah, but that's not. It doesn't apply anymore because it's very easy to figure out which ones is the thing. The Ramah says sex faker, but today, yeah, the Ramah says sex faker, but today you could ask the company and they will send you exactly which.
On your telephone, you can punch in the number.
Yeah, they'll tell you exactly. The companies now tell you exactly. Sex faker was in the good old days. You don't even know who the farmer was. Today, the farmer will tell you, the Pillsbury or Gold Medal will tell you exactly which wheat they use, which year they use. Doesn't a sex faker is only you can't figure out. Once you can figure out, the sex faker doesn't work.
I have a problem today in the supermarket. Everything a flyer, you put the number in. And
It'll tell you when.
So, I get to look at this. So why does the cheese that buy say, oh, why doesn't it say?
That's another chumrah. We'll have to learn barichas. That's a new chumrah. We like chumras. That's a new chumrah. Okay.
go ahead.
What is the one thing that you said if you're machmir, you're...
What were the answers to why?
Shalom.